You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to another deep dive episode of Unstoppable Actors, where I'm going to be exploring with you how to genuinely connect to the character and your scene partner when you haven't learned the lines just yet and you've got your script in your hand. Because I see so many mistakes being made where actors are more focused on the script and they start to train themselves into bad habits such as not listening, not being present, micromanaging performances, delivering performances in a rehearsed way as opposed to being present in the moment. And I'd love to move you away from that if having a script in hand is something you struggle with. Before we get started, I just want to share with you some exciting news that the podcast is now on YouTube, and I'm so excited for that because it means you can listen in multiple places. And we've also got a quiz out which is getting such incredible results, and it's so eye-opening for so many actors. It's called the What Type of Actor Are You quiz. And essentially, there are two types of actor. You've got a head actor and a heart actor. One is very focused on emotions. One is very focused on the logic of the character and gets very intellectual with it. And neither is better than the other. We need an equal amount of both head and heart to deliver incredible standout performances. And I'd love you to find out which type of actor you are, because all actors will be dominant in one area. But for you to balance it out, you've got to use a particular set of method acting exercises. And after you've taken the quiz, I give you free access to the pre-scene power-up, which shares with you a really good method acting exercise as a starting point for starting to balance out the head and the heart so you can get into the character in a very focused and intentional and authentic way. So if you to go and take that quiz, you just need to go to bit.ly/acting type. So I've already shared at the beginning that a lot of actors struggle with having a script in their hand when they're rehearsing a scene, and also listening to the other actor, and then also connecting to the emotional world of the character and then expressing that, because they get so caught up in the script and so focused on it that what they do is hold the script, and the script becomes their focal point because they want to get the lines right, which is, it's a big challenge and worry of so many actors out there, is getting the lines wrong. So they end up with the script in the hand, saying the lines and then looking at the other actor briefly, but then when the other actor is talking, they will then go back to putting their head in the script and following their lines with their eyes, which means they're not listening, they're not present in the scene, they're simply reading. Like, they can't generate that emotion. And so I want to share some easy things with you that you can do that can move you away from doing that. So even with the script in hand, you can start to create the character. You can start to create their reality, their life, and get genuine reactions and genuine emotional responses. And you can start to create the truth and that magic between you and your scene partner rather than being disconnected from them, which is what happens when you're just following along with their lines. So these are nice, simple things that you can do that'll make a huge difference. When you've got a script in hand, rather than holding it in front of your face or where your chest is, which will mean that when your scene partner's talking, you're looking down and we can't even see your eyes, hold your script ever so slightly to one side so your face can be seen. Because when you've got your head down, we can't even see your face properly, never mind your eyes. And then one thing you can do, and this is what you can do in your own time, you don't need an acting coach for this, you could take 10 minutes every single day to practice this, is practice at home with a script in hand ever so slightly to the side, so you get into the habit of doing that, but reading a couple of lines ahead and getting them in your head so you can then give eye contact when it comes to actually verbally saying the lines and expressing yourself. So you can practice quickly reading ahead a couple of lines, getting the line in your head as best as you can, and then looking up and saying that line. So your face can be seen, your eyes can be seen, and you are offering your scene partner something rather than burying your head in the script. Now, here's another thing that I want you to consider is when your scene partner is talking, do the same. Give them eye contact. Let what they're saying be heard by you and affect you before you start jumping into what your next line is, which leads me on to my next point of not being afraid of pauses. So many of you are rushing to get your next line in as soon as your scene partner's finished talking. And it comes from mental tension and the fear of doing something wrong, or the fear of being too slow, or the fear of making the pace of the scene far too slow, or the fear of not being interesting, so you've got to keep talking. But what you can do is when your scene partner is giving you a line, you can afford to look at them, even after they've finished speaking, even after they've finished saying their line, before you dive into looking at your script to see what your next line is. Because then you are building that genuine connection between each other and you're practicing your listening skills, which are so important. Then you can get the next two lines clear in your head and then look at them again as you deliver them in a way you want them to land with your scene partner. Now, another thing to remember is every line is an intention. Don't see it as a line that I'm saying. And you really don't need to get caught up in how you're saying it either, which is what so many actors default to, especially early on, when they're just building up experience. See the line as an intention and instead get clear on what your intention is. And that means the way you want the line to land with your scene partner, the way you want to affect your scene partner. And the way you want to affect them is you either want them to feel something or you want them to do something. And that intention that you have behind the line of what that is, what you want them to feel or what you want them to do, will help you fire an arrow at your scene partner, a metaphorical arrow, where what you say impacts them. And you always want to impact your scene partner, because when you start thinking about how you're saying lines, you're effectively micromanaging your performance. And that's coming from an intellectual place, which is absolutely nothing to do with acting. And that would be, remember I told you about the quiz at the beginning that I've got that you can take for free? If you are micromanaging your performance and thinking about how you say lines and how you should be saying them, that then goes into the category of head actor. And acting is the art of feeling and being present and responding to what's happening in front of you, not what you've planned in your head. So when you start to listen to your scene partner, even with your script in hand, get clear on the intention, and then fire that at them, you'll start to elevate your performances. You'll start to give performances that have more truth to them. This takes practice, because the default for most actors when you've got a script in your hand is just to keep your script in your head, but you have to start practicing these pointers that I've given you to move away from that and create new, better habits. And you've got lots of things to be thinking about from this episode, and you've got lots of things to be practicing. But what I recommend is trying out a couple first, getting solid with those, and then moving on to another two things that I've shared in this episode. So you're building it up slowly and the habits are cementing in you. I hope this has been useful for you. Do remember to go and take that quiz and find out whether you're a head or a heart actor. And that link again is bit.ly/acting type. I'll see you again soon. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.